Hello, Ornella. First of all, welcome to India.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for making Devcon happen in India. We are very excited. I am attending Devcon for the past 2 years. I think we had a brief chat yesterday. Also, I was mentioning, there's always a dream that an event like this will happen in our country. I think, uh, I think the journey has already been started. Eat Mumbai team is also doing a good job. You guys are supporting them.
Absolutely.
And how are you liking the vibe here? Just to share what do you feel about India. Is it your first time? How India is treating you and everything?
Oh, amazing. It's such a wonderful country, such wonderful, people. We were here with the Devcon team at the beginning of January. We were able to meet a few communities in Bangalore, in here in Mumbai, and also part of the team, Kandala, has been in New Delhi. So it's been amazing to just like feel the vibe, the builder spirit, and the energy that everyone has, which it just I know it's going to make a DevCon an amazing experience for everyone because what's needed. The event is like built together. So yeah, really looking forward to it, and thank you for the invitation to have this chat.
Awesome. I think there are many reasons why India is a big country, vast nation, lots of cultures. We have builders. But if you can point us a few reasons, what exactly made you choose India, to do the next DevCon? What are the few things which you guys observed? Which think, okay, we can do it here.
Oh, absolutely. Well, India has one of the biggest, if not the biggest, builder ecosystem on Ethereum, and Ethereum is getting built thanks to the Indian community. So that is something that is like top priority, and the adoption also is very high. And there's a lot of research as well being done here regarding cryptography, which would be really interesting to connect with builders. So, I think the mix of those worlds are definitely the points that make India an incredible environment where DevCon can be held so that its impact can, not just be during the event, but throughout the years after it.
So, as I was mentioning, I was in Bangkok. I was also in the Buenos Aires. Both great events, awesome execution and everything. Uh, I have distinctly seen, the both the places have specific cultural relevance to the entire event. It's packed in. Starting, if I say the food, it's not a very continental style of American style of food. You will get burgers or everywhere. Each thing is very meticulously designed. Each booth has a cultural reference attached with it, be it Thailand, be it Buenos Aires. Anything you guys have picked up, or it's something is in research for India. You guys are focusing towards that. Hey, this is the kind of experience we are trying to create Ethereum in India. Anything that.
Yeah. Well, I think the fact that DevCon is an event that moves around, right, and goes to places where Ethereum like is being adopted, so it can also fuel that adoption and that builder spirit. The great part about that is that everywhere it goes, it kind of picks up, as you mentioned, part of the culture of the local builders, right, the local community, and adds it onto that. Right, same like building any protocol or code, right? Um, each taste of each community kind of gets added to the flavor, the final flavor of Ethereum. So that's how I see it. And as you mentioned, that's why it's good that the event moves in such different continents, so that then as it grows, as Ethereum goes older, right, the community also has this incredible diversity from all over the world. So, for example, specific cases where I see this is in the area that I'm able to contribute to the DevCon team, which is volunteers, mostly in community hubs. We see that each edition there comes like community members from the past edition of the DevCon. So, for example, in Argentina, we had a lot of volunteers from Bogota, because it was the second time DevCon was held in South America. So it was very helpful for them to like be able to come back to the event. Not everyone is able to like go to all DevCons, but at least they were able to come back, in a more mature phase, right, as a builder or as a community member, to the second to DevConnect last year. Same happens, like there's also another group of volunteers that came from India, traveled all the way from India to do volunteering at DevCon Argentina, and now they're here. So now they're playing local, and I really know that a lot of members from Argentina are going to also come here to India, which is like, see how it adds up? So you have that little bit of Bogota, right, from Argentina, now from India, and all the other places like Asia, Europe, where DevCon has been held. it all comes together to make that like final recipe, as you mentioned, with food, of what is like the final flavor of Ethereum.
I think personally, I am also attending, all these international events, maybe Token Dubai, Token Singapore, and a few other ecosystem events. Those are good, nice in their own way. But when I attend DevCon, when I attend DevConnect, both of them it offers an experience in my observation. I don't feel that some kind of agenda has been pushed onto me. It's like people, I think, especially in DevCon Bangkok, I remember it's a big ass hall, and there are lots of community pop-ups. 10 people gathered on a very niche topic, which I don't think if that kind of setup wasn't there, that topic wouldn't have ever arisen. And maybe in few years time, something big would have been built on that, so that I think that's where the Ethereum's open culture comes in. I think obviously the researchers and developers have made it in the tech, but yes, engineering is difficult, but working with people is equally more difficult, or it's creative in its own way. So it's like my personal experience, like like DevCon definitely never felt a conference to me. It's an experience to me. Like I am being a part of the local culture. I am around surrounded by some motivated, curious tech people. At the same time, I am contributing to greater good. How Ethereum, position itself. So yeah, kudos to all of you, all the DevCon team, for making these things happen over year and year. I think Ornella, one thing you mentioned is the volunteering thing. Even I remember I applied for the volunteering program when in Dev Connect, which happened in Istanbul.
Okay,
So I had
nice.
the selection and all but due to some issues, I couldn't make it at the last moment. But volunteering is a very important part of the entire program. Uh, this is my observation, and I am saying I think we have the maximum population, we have the maximum youth population also. So you will definitely see a lots of influx of people who will be interested, to be volunteering. I think this might be little different problem to tackle, maybe in places like Argentina, where the population is not as thick as India. Maybe people are not that much tech oriented like India. Maybe they use crypto, but I don't know, how much they'll be interested to volunteering, because most people are not as young. That's demography. But India, the the difference is different. How are you going to manage the volunteer of this scale? Because for sure, the moment you announce we are getting volunteers, and
Yeah.
anything you have thought that how you'll manage the curate volunteers and everything in
Yeah,
India.
for sure. Well, um, and the trip that we did here to India in January, this is one of the conversations that I actually had with many community members. So I got a lot of feedback from the people here, which was great. So I think obviously because it's like a mathematical thing, a lot of a big part of the volunteer group will be local. And that's great. I really hope we can have like representation from different parts of India. Like maybe let's say 30% from Mumbai, then have another 20% from different parts of India. Because also it's easier to come. It's more like confirmed that you are actually going to be able to make it to the event, right? It's a commitment. And also, yeah, and the rest also like have more space for members from all over the world. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how the application goes. Last year we received about 800 applications. Only 200 people were like part of the final team. Around 250 were selected, but a few weren't able to make it. But here, as you say, it's the other way around. I
Get
think
ready
we're
for
going to
10,000
have
plus
to,
applications
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
That
But I think the most motivated ones, the people that really, um, that show why they want to volunteer, like that why it matters. And honestly, you don't have to. Just for anyone listening, like you don't have to be an OG in Ethereum. Like you could be a new community member. But if you're committed and like you want to contribute for real, like of course you're going to be part of the team, and that's not difficult to identify, I guess, with my experience. It's something that comes very natural with everyone. So the process is application, then there's like a mini video interview, and that kind of helps get the energy of yes, this person is the right fit for the volunteering role. So hope to get a good mix, locals, Indians, and also from the broader Ethereum community worldwide, because in the end that's what makes the group really enthusiastic. Some make friends for life from the volunteering experience. Some start their Ethereum journey together through volunteering, and some others are like OGs that are looking to mentor new people coming into the ecosystem as a way to give back. So having a good diversity in the group is really important, and I think it will happen here as well in India. Yeah.
I think the Ornella, the entire Devcon team is here, for a good 3 4 months, around India, traveling, coming. I think lots of people like Denver, Chandresh Parth, East Mumbai team, they are kind of working together with you. Any other insights you got, maybe for whatever past Devcon editions you were part of, and which you think, okay, in India this thing has to be changed. Like volunteers, we were discussing, it can be one thing because the volume of applications will be strong, but there has to be some strong filtration mechanism towards that part, or maybe some diversity. Any other particular thing you got inside that, okay, this has been worked well in Bangkok, Istanbul, Bogota, and in Buenos Aires, which we'll have to tackle differently in India. Any such insights you guys came
Um,
up with?
well, production standpoint, not much really. I think it's very similar, the structure of how to organize the event, what the event needs are, how to make the event a magical experience, that you enter the event, and as you said, it's an experience that you feel that Ethereum comes to life at the event. What I do think is that since each DevCon is a snapshot of Ethereum in its moment in time, what really makes the difference is the topics that will be discussed. So and in that partakes a lot of the community because with the difference from DevCon last year, DevCon is an opportunity where anyone can be a speaker, so anyone can apply. So that will be like a mirror of the topics that the community cares about in that precise edition, right? And that will stay for life. It's like yeah, a snapshot. So I think we'll be super curious to see how that plays out. So yeah, from a production standpoint, what changes, I guess, is how to implement the culture, right? In all the artistic pathways of the event. So like from the design, we have Tomo from the team doing amazing art and design. Yeah, the team was here a few days in January. Now we're here for East Mumbai, and then we'll be back in November. But the first trip was actually to understand, get that feeling internally of the energy of India, the culture, the spirituality, the diversity, like all the languages that are spoken, because India is a country, but it's a continent as well. So it's from an artistic standpoint, and I'm sure Tomo could speak more to this, but it was really interesting to feel all those things come together and kind of transform it into a message, a visual message that the local community can feel identified with, but also people that haven't been yet to India can like say, hey, wow, this is incredible. I'm really curious. I want to go. I really want to be at Devcon because we'll get that special taste of Ethereum that you can't get it elsewhere.
I think Ornella, on that front, one thing, everybody who came to Ethereum has their own story. Because coming into Ethereum is not a set path. It's not a, you go to Stanford, you learn about Ethereum, you came onto. Although many people might be came across in that way, what I want to say is, every human being who is contributing to Ethereum success has a diversified story, right? I want to know your story, Ornella, like, how you came into Ethereum, prior to that, what you used to do, and then, suddenly the Ethereum ecosystem, how you came, and, maybe doing DevCon looks, traveling around nations, mixing around culture, maybe it looks a little bit fancy from the outside, but when you're involved in the process and managing a event at that scale, because I have been a part of a few I've seen, it's a different story altogether. Like it leads a lot, it needs a lot of passion and love for the project and for the initiative for you to put into it. So just basically, what kind of, made you work in Ethereum, what you used to do prior to that, and the what keeps you going to, contribute relentlessly to the Ethereum's future.
Oh, for sure. Well, to summarize, my story came from like two ends. It was during the pandemic times. So I was, before that, working in the music industry, doing events like music festivals for thousands of people, and also like on the weekends and like different formats. And the pandemic hit, everything halted. So we started doing like online events, streaming, and within that research and how to do like immersive web XR events, I started getting on Discord communities, computer science. Community member in a Discord, he said like, "Hey, you should learn about NFTs, music NFTs, related to the music industry." I was like, "Oh wow, this is interesting. I had never heard what an NFT was." I quickly did a search, found the word Ethereum for the first time, and read about it, and that was like my first touch point. But when it really clicked was at a certain moment in time. I was trying to like learn how to like learn about investing, and I felt that I wasn't able to do that in the like normal system, and understanding decentralization and the permissionless nature of Ethereum, and access to this new technology that was like democratizing the access to things, right, to this like area of life that many people don't even touch upon later on. So uh, those both things came together around the same time, and then it clicked for me, and I started getting into the community, learning like full time, um, in the nights, on the weekends, just trying to really understand what was going on, because it was the first time I heard about it. But from that point, it's been 6 years already. And once I was able to grasp the concept, right, of like censorship resistant and decentralization, self sovereignty, I was able to um, start explaining it myself to other people, and that's how I realized that I was really fond of the concept of onboarding, education, and just helping more people get to know about the amazing technology that Ethereum is. Because sometimes, depending on like where you live or where you are, like you can still find out all these things, right? Thanks to the internet and information free flow, but sometimes it takes more time to get there. So, if in any capacity I was able to like help people, get to that point earlier in their lives, for me was like something very fulfilling. And then, as after 6 years, or yeah, 5 years approximately, of doing like education events through different projects in the Ethereum ecosystem, public goods, I decided to, yeah, apply to be part of the Devcon team, which is I'm very happy to, and honored to be a part of. Because as you mentioned, like when I first went to my first event, which was Istanbul. I wasn't able to go to Amsterdam, but I already saw it online. I was like, oh my god! And then I saw Bogota, amazing as well. And even in South America, it's like, oh, they're like, it's real people. There's like, it's not just Discord communities. Everyone gets together, and that really blew my mind. And I said, oh, I hopefully I can go to these events one day. I was able to do that. Bangkok was, yeah, mind blowing. So huge shout out to Natalia and all the production team, Winnie, and yeah, I think it's really amazing what DevCon can make you feel once you're there, because it's a very inclusive space. So even if you're just learning out about Ethereum, you can be there, make friends, have a good time, and then slowly also at home learn more about Ethereum, right? Whether it's code, whether it's documentation, whether it's community, how to do events, any of that. So all of that came together nicely, and I'm able to. I always say like we all have our superpowers, right? I'm able to contribute to Ethereum through the things that I know how to do, which is through events and coordination of communities and people. So the volunteer team is something an amazing role to have, and I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, shout out to all the volunteers around the world.
Awesome. I think Ornella, great talking to you. I think thanks for sharing us the entire gist of what DefCon is and all. I think Candela already spoke in the morning for a brief amount of time what DefCon
Yeah.
means to us. But before we wrap up, just one quick question. I think the road to DefCon has, or the excitement to DefCon has kind of begun already. With you guys did some events, as you mentioned, that was, quite a good amount of people saw in Twitter. They were curious about many people of me who are into Twitter but not into crypto, inquired me, hey, you have attended a past one or two events. What's this about? The hype is there. Eat Mumbai doing great job. Thanks again for you all of us to come, make it more colorful. What are the few, next things which you can share to us? Can be an alpha, which people can who can see the this episode and can figure out, okay, this is what we can expect from DevCon. till November, some exciting things which you guys are planning. Like you can talk about anything, like like if say there is some information about Edge City, Suzalu, and extended Ethereum communities which are there, and anything you guys have in plan for DevCon
Yeah,
India.
for sure. So today I'll be sharing a little bit more on the talk, but also for everyone that's watching this video, um, there's several ways to get involved in DevCon. So I'm going to share a little bit about that, and most importantly, I really want to emphasize that Ethereum is coming here to India, to Mumbai, but you're part of the fuel, that will help ignite things here locally. So a big part of the event has to do with the community getting involved. DevCon is a community-driven event, so from all the opportunities that you have to contribute to the event and be part of it, you have DIPs, which are DevCon Improvement Proposals. So you can go to our forum, do a proposal about something, like related to Ethereum, where we can test Ethereum apps. If you've built an app, you want to test it at DevCon, that's a good opportunity. It has to be aligned with certain criteria, but in the forum you can find all the information. And this can be things that can be added to DevCon, modified, or subtracted as well. So that is one type. It's already live. DevCon proposed DAPs are already available to everyone who wants to dive into that. Then you have the volunteers. It's going to be opening in June 1st. But during this week here at ETH Mumbai, I'm doing some interviews, meeting people that already have expressed interest in volunteering. So as you mentioned, it's going to be very solicited. Then we have a community hub. So around May, June, we will publish probably a wish list. But community hubs are, as a definition, they're community spaces around a certain topic. But this is not just one community. It could be several communities, but all these communities have something or a topic in common. They can propose to organize a community hub within DevCon at the event, right? So then the programming is totally up to the community hub. So for example, last year we had region, governance, DeSci, fintech, what else? We had Latam, which was in Spanish, so maybe there's a community hub that could be, in Indian local languages. I won't say one, right? Because
They're countless.
yeah, so maybe the top three could be a good idea. What else? Yeah, we had Node Operators Hub, Privacy Hub, so you see, open source hub. So there's very different topics, and it's really fun to organize, and it really helps you get connected. Another way to get involved is, of course, speaker applications. So as mentioned earlier, anyone can speak at DevCon. So if you are interested, that will probably open in the month of July. So yeah, everyone is invited. If you have a topic that you care about Ethereum's core values, about its core properties, like censorship resistance, privacy, open source, security, those are more than welcome. Also, it could be topics about challenges that having, or recent developments that maybe you've done, or about the protocol itself. All those topics, people can apply, and there's a review process by volunteers. This is another area of volunteers that are they have more knowledge in these topics, right, to be able to curate them properly. There's a voting process, and then each speaker will get the result of their application. So all of that is coming: DIPs, volunteers, community hub, speaker applications. Yeah, there's many ways to get involved. So I really hope that everyone can get their ticket once they come out, probably during May. And yeah, I hope to see everyone in DevCon.
Awesome. Yeah, I think first of all, thanks Ornella, for giving us the elaborative way so that people can contribute and be a part of the DevCon initiative. I think obviously we all will be there, R7 and Covid Mumbai, or everybody will be there to support in all ways possible. And for sure, I think this is the motive behind it. I'm talking with other folks also, so that we get the DevCon hype going. And personally, I think everybody who is here today has gone value from Ethereum and DevCon, and this is just a way to give back and be part of the external society. I think really happy that this is happening in India. Me being a local, and thanks for all of you to be here. Again with greetings you folks, welcoming to the place, and I hope this will be one of the best DevCon in entire of Ethereum's history.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for this interview. A huge shout out to the ETH Mumbai team. It's all volunteer work, so it's incredible to see how the event has grown and matured. The fact of having this nice interview also speaks to that. So I really hope that everyone can participate and get the feel what India, is doing, is building for Ethereum. So it's beautiful to see and honored to be here.
Awesome. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ornella. I think,
Thank you for the great interview. See you.
Awesome.